Good afternoon, everybody. I suppose Nordic Gold. We've been involved in Nordic Gold through our company, Linesbridge, out of Australia. As you can hear, my accent's South African, ran mine South Africa. So we've mined Africa, we've mined Australia, we've run Canadian companies and most countries in the world. So Nordic actually stands out. We found Nordic, and we took over management and the board 3 months ago. And why we took it over, first of all, first world country. We're not saying, mining is a risky business. Our job is to make money for shareholders. We are professional miners, so that's what we're responsible to do. So we're not asking you to understand geology. We're asking you to believe that we understand it. So with Nordic Gold, we have got overzealous lawyers. You can read that in your own time. Their cautionary statement and forward-looking. Anyway, so this asset was actually built by a Swedish company. They employed Metso Minerals. Metso designed it. As you know, Metso is most probably them and Outotec are the two number one companies. They're merging this year, and they're number one in the world. They built this mine, and it's a state-of-the-art plant. It's most probably the fanciest. Ran mines, we used to build fancy plants, never this fancy. So we've got a plant, 2 million tons, 300 million euros spent. And obviously they spend too much money. Like, as you find in Australia, most of the companies spend twice their capex these days. So anyway, they built this fancy plant, got into problems with capital cash flow, and ended up with a Canadian junior taking it over, which was Fire Steel, which became Nordic Gold. So Nordic did a wonderful job, bought it for 18 million and gave them 30% of their stock. And But I suppose what went wrong was they thought they could just go in there and restart it. So this is not, as I say, it's a first world asset. It's most probably one of the best mining destinations in the world. We put out an NI 43-101 resource yesterday, 1.5 million ounces in the ground at 1.53, was it? 1.52. And we've got 5 years in reserve to mine. So we could actually push the button today. The guys that we took it over from tried to start it up in November, undercapitalized without doing any geology. And again, they went back onto care and maintenance after 3 months. The good thing is they bought all the cyanide. They spent something like $12 million cleaning up the plant, getting it ready, and did no geology, and then tried to start it in winter, which the winter in Finland is a serious winter. So they didn't get it away. So what we've done is we had this debt from Pandion Mine Finance. We've been working very close to them. We worked out the fire debt. So their debt, market-to-market gold loan was $63.4 million. Now we've made it vanilla debt $23 million. Payable first half in 18 months. So we've got the runway, and that was only 10 days ago. We got the runway to move the project forward. As I say, it's a huge project, 90,000 ounces a year, 2 million tons through the plant. So it's a serious mine, and it's got a serious ore body. We open on dip, we open on strike, we're fully permitted, and we're production ready. The only thing is, we need to go, this is a long-term asset. This asset will run for the next 10, 15 years. So what we need to go back, do drilling, and actually firm up the mine plan. When spring comes next year, start moving it ahead. We have got detailed presentations actually in the booth, A17. I'm missing the presentation. So I haven't got many slides. So we've got clean balance sheets since the last 10 days. We've got a very strong resource base, but we're actually going to carry on drilling. We're going to drill 10,000 meters starting next month to firm that up, because as I say, we're looking at a 10-year, 20-year mine. The other thing is we've got 2 pits developed. We're going to create a 3rd pit. It's all about having enough areas to mine to sustain 6,000 tons a day. We've got the mineralizations open on strike. As I say, we've got an intersection at 250 meters below the pit. So it shows we most probably potentially got underground mine in the long term, but obviously that's not something that even worries us because we've got more than enough on surface. The Metso Minerals, I've already talked about. We got every permit in place. We could make a phone call and start it today. We've got all first fills on site. Finland's, as I say, wonderful mining destination, highly skilled people. And so we're going to go through a practical training course. So we've got the University of Oulu right there. So we're about in the middle of Finland. Then we've got the University of Oulu, which has got a mining school. So there's most of our staff's got 2 or 3 degrees. So, yeah, mining ready. And then we've also got a large tenure for exploration, which not much has been done over the years because the focus has been building this huge mine. So that's where we're going. So the big thing is it's geology. We've got a plant which outstrips most plants I've seen. And as I say, Rand Mine's Anglo-American in South Africa. We built some fancy stuff. But this plant is really, really fancy. So, and it had produced gold at 87.5% recovery. And it's tested, proven, never had an environmental issue, which is in Finland, obviously environment like Australia and in Canada, most places in America, most places are tough. I think the 2 toughest is New South Wales in Australia and California at the moment are rated the worst places to go get permits. But we got all our permits. So 10,000 meters, you can see all the purple spots. That's what we're going to drill. It's had a lot of drilling. It's had over 100,000 meters of drilling already. But the grey areas are expanding the pit, mostly to have enough ore to be able to sustain 6,000 tonnes a day. So we have to mine 2,000 cubic meters of ore every day, 365 days. And that's really the crux of the project. We've got fancy, everything else is there. We've got a water pipe that goes 18 kilometers out in the sea in case we've got too much water to, it was just, a crazy development. But anyway, but the nice thing is, it's in a country that we know they're not going to steal our project. We built, so it's had 300 million sunk on it. We've got 1.5 million ounces, and we're open on strike, open on dip. The big thing is to have very firm mine plan and mine at head grade. And if we're looking to mine about 90,000 ounces, 2 million tons a year at about 1.5 grams recovered. So if you work out the numbers on that, 87.5% recovery, it's a pretty sexy mine. So just going on that, April we'll start cleaning up the pits and getting ready to mine, and we're looking first production June, July. And between now and production, we're going to raise 7.5 million in equity. Yesterday our shares went up 25%, and we raised 7.5 in equity, mostly put in the ground, drill, because it's about getting gold out the ground. So that's we'll start straight away as soon as the equity comes in. And then we've got about another $10 million here. So what we'll do with that also is do a restart feasibility optimization, automate the plant. The plant's got fancy automation on it, so we'll do that and then move forward. That's the share price. You can see we've bounced up. We took over in July, it's bounced up to 0.5. You can see it's where it's been. But you've got to apply as a 300 million mine. Most probably our breakup value of the company today is most probably $20 million with all the fancy equipment. Very tightly held shareholders. 30% is Nordic Mine's the old guys. Pandion holds 19.9 that did the financing. They put another 5 million in the last 2 months. Or 6 million. And then Canaccord nominees out of Alberta hold 30%, and management holds about 10. Old management holds about 3. So about 13% has been tied up with the management. Value scenario, it's all what I've said. We've got not much debt for a huge mine. We put out a shareholders letter. Is that the end, or can we still talk? Anyway, there is a full presentation to look at. I mean, our game is get into production and make money for shareholders. We're not a gold play. We love 1,500 gold, but we'll break even is probably at 1,200, or not even 1,100. So, yeah, gold price doesn't worry us. Country doesn't worry us. And we're looking to be a long-term mine, not small. Thank you.